Hey everyone, I'm back with another office tour of this studio space, and today I will be discussing and breaking down my desk setup. I'll also be going over 6 different hacks that I've learned that can take just a basic desk and turn it into more of a modular, dynamic use of space. Now, everything is attached to the desk so that I can easily move it on around anywhere in this room to create multiple different environments and filming angles. Now, this room that we're currently in is about 11 feet by 15 feet wide. The desk that I have here is from IKEA called Idison. It is about 31 inches by 63 inches wide. It is also a sit-stand desk, so there's a lot more potential options with how you want to set this up. I researched a lot of sit-stand desks, and this one had a great review, especially at higher levels. If you wanted to shake it side to side, some of the other desks kind of have a lot more play in them, but this one is very strong. The legs are great. Also, it can go really low to the ground, so there's a lot more flexibility in heights. Honestly, I have had no complaints with this desk. My only issue is this tabletop. This is not the actual top that comes with this set. This one is curved around the edges and a little bit thinner. IKEA was out of stock, so I couldn't get the one that it actually comes with. So if you are gonna get this desk from IKEA, I highly recommend getting the tabletop that comes with this set. That way you can kind of maximize all the weight that you wanna put on it. It can hold a little bit more weight than what I currently have now. Also, a fun tip about this desk, if you are to lower it down onto an object that's going down, it will sense that obstruction and just kind of lift back up to kind of protect from crushing anything. So a nice little feature there. Now, the reason I wanted to create a desk that is modular is so that I can have multiple different locations for filming and creating. I didn't want to just be tied to one spot in the room. So here are 4 different locations of this desk throughout this room that is going to give us different results, and you can let me know in the comment section which spot you feel is best. Here we go. Angle 1. The camera would be here, and then I'd have the on-desk camera placed here, filming this direction for Zoom sessions. Angle 2. Here I could have multiple different camera placements. Here could be camera placement 1. Over here could be camera placement 2. Even camera placement 3 here. And then the on-desk camera would be facing this direction. All of this from one location of this desk. Angle 3. Here the camera would be facing this direction and shooting this way. And then the on-desk camera would be filming this direction. And angle 4. Here I could place the desk in the middle of the room and kind of get a lot of different angles if I wanted to. This would probably be the main angle, filming in the middle of the room, and this would be the angle of the camera on the desk. So, which angle did you like the best? Was it angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, or angle 4, and why? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, to make this possible, let's dive into the 6 hacks that I did to this desk. All right, hack number 1 is adding furniture sliders to the feet of your desk. I went ahead and picked up some furniture sliders I found on Amazon that just have a sticker on one side. So I just lifted the feet up on this desk, attached the sliders on all 4 corners, and instantly it slides really nice and smooth across the carpet in this room. Way better than wheels in my opinion, and it's way easier to add. So if you definitely wanna have a desk that is more portable in your room and you have carpet, definitely consider adding furniture sliders to the feet of your desk. If you want a clean, minimal desk setup, nothing looks worse than cables everywhere. This desk already comes with an undercarriage to hold cables. Now, because this desk can also lift so high, I can easily just roll up underneath it and work on it like a car. Now, for cable runs to the desk, I added a power surge protector that I velcroed behind the center beam so it can be hidden. I then ran a 20-foot extension cord from the wall to the desk. I also have a server room in my basement that holds my QNAP for all our storage, and we can connect to it via Cat 6 cable. So I also have an Ethernet cable running parallel to the power cord. To keep it clean together, you can add this black cable sleeve that conceals the cables and zip tie them at both ends so that it doesn't accidentally unravel. Now, I added a hook to the side of the desk to hold the excess of cable for a very clean look. Any other cables under the desk, I just either use Velcro cable tie or a screw with the cable holder to keep the cables attached to the desk and not hanging down. These are some really great accessories that keep everything really tidy. Because I wanted a very minimal setup with not much on top of it, I wanted my audio interface and preamp access underneath the desk instead of on top of it. To do that, you can purchase these little strap mounts that can hold different gear or interfaces perfectly flush with the desk. So just attach it to the bottom of the desk and strap it on. Super easy and clean. Because I wanted to control my audio that is going to the headphones and separately to my speaker as well, I ended up picking up the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 interface. We also use this for recording and podcasting, so it definitely has amazing features for that. Also comes with phantom power so that I can easily use mics that require that extra voltage. Currently, I'm running my audio out my computer into this interface and then out to a Sonos Beam setup. Now, Sonos doesn't necessarily design their products to be utilized that way, so you have to pick up a very expensive port adapter in order to do that. However, I did find this really great product that's about $15 on Amazon, which takes an RCA input to an optical output, and then I run that into the HDMI ARC cable that goes into the Sonos Beam. So it's a little bit more of a workaround, but it ended up working really great. It was really hard to find that actual device adapter because most of the other adapters, their signal flow is reversed. So it's RCA output, optical input. So now I can run audio out my computer into the Sonos Beam via this interface, which is really awesome. Eventually I will get a nice stereo system, but for now I'm using this Sonos Beam for the audio output. One thing I did notice is if you do want to start having the Sonos playing music that's not coming from your computer, it can do that. It'll switch that input, but it won't switch back to your computer input. So in order to fix that, you have to turn off your Sonos Beam and turn it back on, and then it'll start playing from your computer again. A hack that I actually did was take a smart plug and connect it to the cable, the power cable of the Sonos Beam, and then I ran an Alexa routine that whenever I wanted to reset the Beam, it would turn off the plug and then turn it back on really quickly, and then it would work. So that's one little workaround that I found to get the Beam working if you have issues. But you're using a $15 adapter versus a $400 to $500 adapter that Sonos has you use in order to get a separate feed straight into the Beam. All right, moving on. For podcasts and Zoom sessions, I am using the Shure MV7 microphone, and this thing is a great hybrid of a microphone. What I love about this is it connects via USB to the computer, and it's also powered over USB, which is great. I also love that I can have a right angle adapter, and then it connects to a USB-C extension cable that I have running into the Mac Mini. What's also great about this specific microphone is you do have a widget that is in your computer that you can utilize to dial in settings like compression and EQ and a few other things, which is great before it gets sent to another app. So if I want to use Zoom, I can just choose this microphone as an input, and I can pull up the widget and dial in my compression and EQ and some other settings right then and there, so I'm not getting hardly any latency. Usually I'd have to find another type of plugin to route audio in, change the settings, and sometimes you have latency issues. So it's a great alternative if you're looking for that microphone. Best of both worlds, I get USB as an option, and then also I get XLR as an option. Now, it is connected currently to a blue pivot arm, and it is a great microphone stand. It clamps to the desk. Again, that's the reason why I wanted everything to be very flexible. I can put it off to the side, and I can easily extend it really far out and still utilize it whenever I'm on my computer and I want to chat or live stream with my camera. This is a great option as well. It doesn't get in the way, and I can easily just push it out of the way if I want to. Overall, I love this boom arm. One issue I did find is at the base, it sometimes would drift because there's no tension option on the side. So what I did is I just took a black heavy-duty rubber band and just placed it around the base and the blue microphone arm. And honestly, that just kept enough tension on it. It just stays where it needs to, and it's dialed in. So overall, if you're looking for a good microphone to have that's very flexible, definitely check out this blue microphone arm and the Shure MV7, which is a great microphone to have in my opinion. All right, next up, monitor arms. To keep everything off the base of the table and keep it really flexible and clean, I added 2 monitor arms that are tension arms to hold my 2 monitors. The 2 monitors I currently am using are the LG 5K Ultrafine Retina display and another LG 27-inch 4K in a vertical layout. Eventually, I plan on getting a larger TV to use as a screen, but for now, this is my current setup. I do a lot of color grading, so the LG 5K screen is really nice and bright for that. Now, the other LED screen is all right, but mainly used for work and tasks and emails, etc. Now, to mount them, I just picked up these arms on Amazon. Nothing fancy with them, but they are pretty strong and have really good tension to hold the weight of these monitors and then some. For placements, I wanted to keep them to the side so that I can still use this desk in YouTube videos by easily pushing them to the side and start filming. Here I did a shoot with a future video I'm going to be creating about our QNAP storage, and I wanted to quickly shoot some product shots. All I had to do was lift the desk up to the height I wanted and just turn the screen to the side and move the Sonos beam. Instantly, I had a clear desk that I could utilize for product shots without having to bring in another desk for that. The monitor arms are very important, and I honestly prefer to use them over monitor stands because of the ease of use and being able to adjust them. So definitely consider picking up a tension-based monitor arm if you want to create a more flexible setup. Now, to connect these two monitors to the computer below, I'm gonna have to lift this desk up to show you all of the computer and hardware storage we have below and how that will help keep a clean and minimal setup. So I'm currently using an eGPU for my monitors. This is a AMD Vega 64 graphics card that I'm using, and this really helps speed up render times whenever I'm editing in Final Cut Pro. To mount this, I just got another set of mount straps that I have mounted around this enclosure. It's mainly used for computer enclosures, and I wanted to keep this as close to the beam as possible so that the weight is distributed the best in here. So also, conveniently, it's the exact size where whenever this is lowered down, it barely does not hit the legs right at the lowest level. So that is nice and convenient. I have my vertical monitor, the LG vertical layout monitor that is running to here via a DisplayPort or HDMI. And then I have that Thunderbolt connected all the way to the Mac Mini. Now I have the 5K ultra fine LG monitor. That one is connected straight to the Mac Mini because it doesn't have a DisplayPort or HDMI to be able to plug into this, which is a downfall in my opinion. Now, to move on to the computer, this is a 2018 Mac Mini that I have, which definitely requires an eGPU if I want to do any kind of editing. Also, I have a fan that is underneath this Mac Mini because it also is known to get overheating issues. I will be upgrading this in the future whenever the next version of the M1 silicon chip comes out. Then I won't need this whole enclosure. I'll be able to minimize this whole setup and it should work really well. But for now, this is what I currently have. Now to hold this Mac Mini, I have this under desk mount that I just placed here that kind of covers the beam, and I'm able to place everything inside here, keep everything nice and tidy and hidden away. It's still accessible, so I can put my finger down here and power it up, so there's not an issue there. Keeping the computer and hardware tucked underneath the desk is a great idea if you want to keep everything looking really clean while also allowing for a modular desk space. Since I have the computer tucked away under the desk, I still need access to some of the ports. So something that we're gonna need to add is we're gonna need to add a hub. So we're gonna use an extension cable, that's a USB-C extension cable that goes to the front, and then I'm gonna place a hub underneath my desk. Now the hub allows me to have port access to a USB port, a USB-C port, as well as a SD and a micro SD input. Right now, I'm using a simple hub that I have placed in front of the desk and secured via Gorilla Tape, which is extremely strong. Then I run an extension cable to the Mac Mini. Now, I've tried multiple different hubs and I haven't liked the results. The one I currently have works for the most part, but I do have slow speeds on the SD and micro SD card. One thing you'll want to consider is possibly looking at a hub that is also powered so that you can get all the power that it needs to process all the speeds. Also, not all adapters are fast, so just keep that in mind. I'm still looking for another option. If you have one or a hub that you've used that you feel like I definitely need to know about, please let me know in the comments below, because I currently am not satisfied with the one that I have right now, but I am open to suggestions. So I don't totally recommend this current hub, but I do recommend adding some sort of hub to your setup so that you have access to those ports. For the desk height adjuster, it used to be here in the front, and I ended up moving it because my chair would always bump it whenever I'd move to the right, and it would go up and down. So I just moved it to the outside and kind of hit it a little bit more, and that just moving that over there helped fix that issue immediately. Now the last accessory is my camera setup. I'm currently using a Panasonic S1 camera with a Sigma 14-24 f2.8 lens, which I have attached to the same monitor arms. It allows me to move it up and down and side to side fairly easy. I just placed the Manfrotto plate mount screwed onto the head of the monitor arm, and then I slide the camera in place. I then run a dummy battery into the arm and power it under the desk so it doesn't waste any batteries and it never dies. I then plug the HDMI out into an Elgato USB adapter and use that input on my computer. Because I love the color that I get from this camera, I actually film in Vlog in 4K. In the camera, I turn on my Vlog View Assist with the custom Vlog Conversion LUT from Gamut. I turn this on for HDMI output and I get a beautiful signal in my computer fully graded. If you film on a Panasonic camera that is capable of filming in full vlog, then definitely check out Gamut and our Conversion LUTs. I will link that in the description below. Now we have an awesome feed for our Zoom sessions or any YouTube videos we want to make. So overall, this is my desk setup and current layout for this room. Hopefully these tips and hacks were helpful for you as you are deciding on how you want to build or even upgrade your current desk setup. Go ahead and like this video if you feel like it was helpful, and make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss another video when it goes live. If you haven't watched the first video of this series, definitely check out this link up here and you can watch the full overview video where we highlight all the different stuff in this room, and further videos where we break down each section in more detail, like this custom LED slated wall behind me. So thank you so much for staying till the end, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, and don't forget to let me know in the comment section below which angle of the desk setup you liked earlier in this video. Thanks.